Alright guys, here's my Rust tutorial for my Deffkoptas. I did one, but the camera was kind of not in frame, or this wasn't in frame. So this is what I'm going to be showing you how to do. And then progressively on to doing the paint chips and stuff like that. Okay, so what you're going to need is what I use, Calthan Brown foundation paint and Blazing Orange. These work the best. The light brown will help bring in the orange a little bit more. If you don't have Calthan Brown, you can use like a really dark flesh color like Taliron Flesh, or you can even use a scorched brown. You're going to have to use a lot more orange, maybe something to lighten this up a little bit more. But first we start off with the brown. Just a little bit on this first layer. You can do 3 to 4 layers of stipling or overbrushing, kind of a mix of the two. So I put 2 drops of the brown in there, so I'll put 1 of the orange, just to lighten up that brown just a little bit. I added a drop of water to this just to make it a little bit more runnier, go on easier. Then you're gonna want a flat. I like this brush because it breaks off into little sections, almost like a little blocks. You can see that there, how it spreads apart. That helps with the stipling because it gives it more of a random pattern, especially because when we're doing it, we're going to be spinning the brush. Okay, so for all my other ones, I first went ahead and dry brushed these all silver. But I had this one laying around. This is the first one I ever painted way back when the Blackreach set first came out, so I'm going to try this effect on the gold. So this is kind of experimental in that respect. So what we do is basically almost like we're going to dry brush, get a little bit on the end of the brush, and like I said, like stipling. You want to randomly put it on there. So it's all blotchy. And Rust does that. It pops up in a blotchy pattern on steel. So you're going to be wanting hitting everything that's metal if you're going for this full effect. Again, just hitting the model. And if you get a little bit too much on your brush, I'll show you. And you put it down and you're like, oh, that kind of looks like crap. Just finish off your brush, get it not so wet. Just use it very slightly until it's almost dry, so you're not getting much off your paintbrush. Then you can go back and kind of just even that out by just almost dry brushing it, and it'll leave a rust patch. This is okay because we'll be covering it up with brighter rust, with the brighter orange. This one you want to, this layer you want to have the most coverage, because this is essentially like your first layer, the darkest layer. just being as random as possible. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I'm out of paint here too, so. Okay, so there we have the first layer done. So, rinse off our brush. Do basically the same thing again. But you'll want more brown this time, because we'll be adding more orange paint to it. And adding successive layers, well, drops of orange paint to it. So you want a fair amount. So, 1, 2, 3 drops. And just mix that up until you get a nice orange. I think I'll add one more. Oops. Nice one in there, okay. There we go. Add a drop of water just to loosen it up a little bit, get it flowing nice, and so it won't dry out on you right away. Okay. So now this is layer 2. What we're going to want to do is same action, doing the stippling, spinning your brush as you're putting it on randomly, but you're going to want to put less on this layer. And by less, I mean not getting as much coverage, just in more random areas, just to fill in the area, give a different degree of rust. To help break up some of those spots that it's on there pretty heavily, that first layer. What this will do is give different levels of rust, so it'll give it like different levels of deterioration on the metal, which is understandable because certain spots will get more access to rain, certain spots will, you know, be on the underside, so they won't be getting hit as often with stuff that can be harmful to metal. Just little things like that you gotta think about when you're painting stuff like this. It's okay if there's still black areas or silver or gold, in this case gold. That'll just add to the effect, give it almost like a shaded look. Okay, so that's looking not bad for a second layer. Now what we're going to want to do is go with a more extreme layer, adding more orange than we did on the previous 2 layers.